Again here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. And let's start off with some news out of the women's fighting divisions. Now, remember I mentioned this last week because it was an undercard battle, and I told you I'd let you know the result. Down in Orlando, Florida, Franchon Cruz Dezern out of Baltimore, Maryland in the U.S., won a 10-round unanimous decision over Shadisha Green. She's fighting out of Patterson, New Jersey. And both were fighting for the interim WBA World Super Middleweight title and the WBC World Super Middleweight division. The final judges' scorings were 92-98, 93-97, 93-97. Also on that same night, down in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Mayra Munoz out of Montevideo, Uruguay, won a 10-round unanimous decision over Elizabeth Crespo out of Argentina. The two were fighting for the interim WBC World Lightweight title, and the final judges' scores were at 91-99 on all scorecards. Just wanted to bring you up to speed on a couple of fights that I thought were important to mention with respect to the women who are fighting. One of the other fights I mentioned last week, I was somewhat concerned about. I was concerned about the health of young men formerly out of Ghana, Sena Agbiko. He was set to fight David Morrell Jr., and quite frankly, Agbiko has had some issues, shall we say, with his brain. Some neurologists were concerned and had not allowed him to fight previously, but he was allowed to fight in this particular battle and lost. This was the last of the Showtime Network WBA regular super middleweight, all the fights, quite frankly, on Showtime. And this was the result of the WBA regular super middleweight fight between David Morrell, who's now undefeated, 10-0, who scored a second round technical knockout over Akbiko over at the Armory in Minneapolis. The bout was actually waved off at 1 minute 43 seconds of round number 2 after Morrell began teeing off against a rather helpless Akbiko. A very impressive performance for Morrell, and it'll be interesting to see who he fights next, and I'll have some comments about that in a few moments. I wanted to mention, though, in a WBA lightweight eliminator, Jose Valenzuela, 13-2, scored a spectacular sixth-round knockout over Chris Colbert, 17-2 now. The end came when Valenzuela connected with a huge right hook that laid out Colbert face first, avenging his controversial loss to Colbert back in March. Time was 1 minute 46 seconds, as I said, of that sixth round. Let's move over to Japan. Filipino puncher Jason Vason, 11-1-1-1, no contest, captured the WBO Asia Pacific Junior Flyweight belt as the upset defending champ, Ryuyo Yamanaka, who's now 19-3, with a stunning technical knockout win of 1 minute 14 seconds of the second round. And that was a scheduled 10 round that took place in Kobe, Japan. It was a vicious right uppercut, a haymaker that exploded at the ex-WBO world titleist Ryo's chin with a perfect timing. Down went the champ. He almost stood up, but was unable to resume fighting due to bad equilibrium. Obviously, his brain got a little rattled, and ref called it off. In another battle over in Japan, middleweight champ Riku Kunimoto, 10-1, collected another WBO Asia Pacific belt, the 160-pound belt, when he caught up with compatriot 6'1" Katsushiro Nakata at 1 minute 25 seconds of the ninth round in their scheduled 10-rounder that took place in Osaka, Japan. Also, I want to mention the Bam Rodriguez victory. He absolutely clobbered Sonny Edwards, who was obviously a little bit wobbly and shaken up after that loss. It was a flyweight unification clash, as I mentioned last week, and now WBO champion Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who, by the way, should make mention in those pound-for-pound rankings now. He's 19-0, and he stopped the IBF champ, Sonny Edwards, as I said, who's now 20-1, in round number 9 over at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona. It was a great fight. Rodriguez steadily broke down and busted up Edwards. Bam finally dropped Edwards at the end of round 9, and the bout was stopped. Wanted to make mention. Elsewhere, you also saw WBA super bantamweight eliminator, former unified champion Mirjan Akhmadaliev. He's 12-1, dealt an 8-round beating to previously unbeaten Kevin Gonzalez, 26-1-1 now. Akhmadaliev dropped Gonzalez twice in round 6 and 2 more times round number 8 to end it at the time of 2 minutes 49 seconds. Gonzalez was game and tough, but Akhmadaliev was just too much. Olympic gold medalist and flyweight contender Galal Yafai, 6-0, scored a 10-round unanimous decision over Rocco Santamoro, 22-3. Yafai is mostly in control, but Santamoro got some licks in also. Scores were 99, 91, 98, 93, 97, 93. Super bantamweight Jericho Quinn, 17-1-1, scored a spectacular 5th-round knockout over previously unbeaten Peter McGrail, 8-1. McGrail was dominating the fight until he was laid out by a counter right. Time was 2 minutes 19 seconds of the 5th round, and in that moment, O'Quinn claimed the WBA Continental belt. So there you go, some fight news from around the world, and let's not stop there. One more to mention. WBC number 1 super lightweight Sandor Martin was over in Italy. He's 42-3, by the way, 15 knockouts. He knocked out Mohamed Al Marouchi, 29-4 in round number 4 this past weekend at Palasport La Copile in Turin, Italy. Martin dropped Marcucci in round number 2 and put him down for the count in round number 4 at 2 minutes 2 seconds of that round. After the fight, Martin, who is the WBC's official mandatory challenger, immediately called out recently crowned WBC champ Devin Haney. It was interesting to see some of the comments on the weekend as well with respect to those pay-per-view views of Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis, which did not look good at all, by the way. Okay, so with respect to David Morrell Jr., who will he fight next? Well, according to his dad, Jose Benavidez Sr., he says he's looking for a fight against David Morrell, but is told by his team that he's not quite ready just yet. He's the trainer and father of David Benavidez, and Jose said with respect to David Morrell's latest win, and whether there was any potential interest they would have in fighting him, he said he's approached Morrell's team about the fight only to be told that they don't believe Morrell is quite ready for the fight at that time. So who will Morrell fight next? Well, Morrell Jr.'s trainer, Ronnie Shields, said he would like him to fight Canelo Alvarez for his undisputed super middleweight champion belt if he can't get the Benavidez matchup. So who would you like to see? I put that question over on the YouTube page. Check it out. Speaking of YouTube, Jake Paul, after his victory, his first victory against a professional boxer, is now targeting a bout with Vidal Riley, the English champ, after he secured, as I said, his first victory as a professional boxer this past weekend. He knocked out Andre August and is now 10-1 in the first round with an uppercut. And then, looking at the replay, it was good. I didn't see the entire, actually it was the first round. I was going to say the entire fight. It was first round knockout. And it was a really good shot. Well done, Jake Paul. But in the press conference afterwards, Paul welcomed the prospect of taking on Britain's Vidal Riley. And if you're not familiar with Riley, he trained YouTube personnel at KSI recently. And he's also an unbeaten professional cruiserweight holding the English title, as I said earlier. So said Paul, for sure that can happen. That would be interesting. He has a name, a profile, and that's something that excites me for sure. As I go down this path, I'm going to continue to challenge myself and grow and grow and grow. And some of those names start popping into the equation. A social media star himself, as you all know, Jake Paul began his boxing career fighting other YouTubers. He then took on athletes from other sports, which we all grumbled and complained about. But after his loss to Tommy Fury, seems like he's going to stick to boxing for a while. It's surreal, he said. I'm trying to take in a whole entire moment and have fun during this whole entire experience. I think this one-round victory is the best one. Calling it the whole entire week, not getting it one time in the fight, and just setting him up for that. I think self-belief's a weird thing. You set a super high goal for yourself, and you see the vision, but there's ups and there's downs throughout getting there. Sometimes you're discouraged, you fall down, you fall flat in your face. You're like, why am I doing this? Is this all worth it? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? It's just about believing in yourself. And I don't know if I pictured that good, but I'll be manifesting those knockouts again. Good for Jake Paul. Not so good news for Shadisa Green over the weekend, but let's see where Jake Paul ends up. He's certainly doing well, and that was definitely a darn good hit over Andre August. Let's have a quick look at Dmitry Bivol, because he'll be fighting in this upcoming mega card over in Saudi Arabia. Dmitry Bivol, I'm not going to say he's controversial, but the people who should be fighting him are somewhat controversial. He's set to defend his belt against Britain's Lyndon Arthur on this blockbuster card in Saudi Arabia. And he said, to be honest, I wanted to fight in June or July. I wanted so much, but at the same time, I need some rest, some mental rest. And I think I made the right decision. Okay, we need the rest. We need to make treatment for my arm. Then we'll move forward again, move forward with a fresh body, fresh mind. After a bit of wear and tear, obviously, he needed that time. So he did, took it, and now he'll be fighting in Saudi Arabia. I was enjoying that time being fighter of the year. I could really calm down, enjoy life, fix everything, be fresh, and move forward again. Could he see Bivol Canelo 2 happening? Well, after he beat Ramirez, he floated the idea of dropping down to 168 for a rematch with Canelo to challenge for his rival's undisputed crown. But Ramirez has remained insistent that any return should take place back 175. So he could right a wrong, leaving negotiations at a stalemate, said Bivol. For me, now I'm forgetting about Canelo. I'm not talking about him. I've had my way, and I'm moving forward. It's Lyndon Arthur. I then have my goal. It's undisputed in the light heavyweight division. Then we'll see. Maybe Canelo, maybe cruiserweight. I don't know. We will see. But today, I'm focused on Lyndon, and so he should be. Speaking of focusing, I like to take a look around the world and see what's happening. And I see that Ghanaian boxer Frederick Lawson has his sights set on Virgil Ortiz Jr. Now, as you might recall, Ortiz had a bit of medical problems last year. Let's read what this story has to say. It's at yardbarker.com. Ghanaian boxer Frederick Lawson, nicknamed General Ukunka, is gearing up for a tough test on January 6, 2024, when he takes on rising star Virgil Ortiz Jr. at 154 pounds. And that'll take place in Las Vegas. Lawson's record, by the way, 30-3, 22 knockouts. He's a bit of force to reckon with in that welterweight division. I think he's moving down for this particular fight. We'll have to take a look what they're saying here. Ortiz, by the way, undefeated, 19-0, 19 knockouts. He was set to face Stanionis. Remember that? In a 147-pound competition, but the bout was postponed 3 times. Once due to Stanionis' emergency appendectomy, and the second time because of Ortiz's battle with rhabdomyolysis, a very serious medical condition that occurs when muscle tissue breaks down, releasing its contents, including proteins and electrolytes, into the bloodstream. So Ortiz, 25, obviously took some time off, and he's looking to win his first title at junior middleweight rather than welterweight after a 17-month ring absence when he fights Lawson. In March 2021, a few years ago, as you might recall, Ortiz Jr. delivered a dominant performance against Maurice Hooker, stopping in the 6th round with a thunderous left hook. And that victory propelled him into boxing's limelight. 5 months later, Ortiz Jr. continued his impressive streak with a 7th round technical knockout over Egidijus Kavaluskas. Ortiz Jr. then shifted his focus to 154-pound division. He said, headlining my first card in Las Vegas after over a year of inactivity is just what I needed. I'm very motivated to put on a great show like I always do, and to show everyone that I'm still here, he added. The fight will be an interesting clash of styles, as Lawson is a pressure fighter who likes to get in close and unload heavy punches. Ortiz Jr., on the other hand, is a skilled boxer who prefers to use his jab and footwork to keep his distance. Lawson's experience and power will be his biggest assets. Virgil is ready to come back stronger than ever and to become a world champion in this sport, said Golden Boy Promotions chairman and CEO Oscar De La Hoya. He's got the heart and dedication, and he's on a mission to be a world title holder. That's something to look forward to, because he certainly had it going there for a while until that medical condition popped up. Anyway, let's have a bit of a concluding story here with respect to World Boxing, the organization that's looking to take the place of the IBA and put boxing back into the Olympics on a permanent basis through good governance, basically. A new international boxing competition hosted by England Boxing and World Boxing in association with GB Boxing will take place in January 2024 at the English Institute of Sport, Sheffield, in England. The event, known as the World Boxing Cup GB Open Sheffield 2024, is a new addition to the elite international boxing calendar and will be part of the World Boxing Cup series developed by World Boxing, the new international federation, which has been established to ensure boxing remains at the heart of the Olympic movement. The World Boxing Cup is a new format in which both male and female boxers accrue ranking points over several stages of competition throughout the calendar year, and it culminates in a year-end finals event when the stage winners and other top-ranked boxers compete for the World Boxing Cup trophy, which sounds like a league to me. The World Boxing Cup event in Sheffield will be the first event of 2024 and features 7 men's weight categories and 6 for the women, the same as those that will be used at Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The event will be delivered by England Boxing in association with World Boxing and GB Boxing and is supported by the National Lottery, UK Sport, and Sheffield City Council. World Boxing Secretary General, keeping in mind they just had all their elections, Simon Tolson explained, World Boxing is committed to delivering a calendar of high-quality competition opportunities that are designed in the interest of the boxers, and it's fantastic they will be bringing this event to England as part of the new World Boxing Cup series. The timing of the event is great for all concerned as it leads into the Olympic qualifier in Italy and shows that we are delivering a competition structure that works for the boxers and will benefit the sport. GB Boxing's chief executive, Matt Holt, said, we've been aiming to have an international boxing competition in the UK for some time now, so it's great that we've been able to link up with the new international federation and key local stakeholders to develop an event that can be part of the next year's World Boxing Cup series. It's very good news for the boxers in our squad who usually compete abroad and means they'll be able to box at home where their family and friends will be able to watch them. This is a huge year for our boxers, and being able to host this event at home prior to the second Olympic qualifying event, which takes place in Italy, February 29th to March 12th, 2024, is ideal preparation for the men and women in our squad as they look to secure their places at Paris 2024. Concluding, Jerome Pels, chief executive of England Boxing, added, we are very proud to be part of the new World Boxing Cup series and are looking forward to being part of this event, which will be a superb opportunity to showcase the popularity of boxing in England. Our staff, officials, and volunteers all possess the skills and expertise necessary to deliver a top-class competition and are looking forward to collaborating with World Boxing and GB Boxing to bring this event to life. Having a World Boxing Cup event in England is fantastic for the sport at all levels. It's a tremendous opportunity for Great Britain's elite boxers to showcase their talent on home soil and at the same time provide a platform for us to promote, develop, and grow the sport at the grassroots, something that we at Talkin Fight have been talking about for 3 years now. Very good news coming out of World Boxing and very good news coming out of England. And I hope that these 27 national federations have a great time putting this together, and other federations from other countries begin to join World Boxing's efforts as well. So that's it for me today. Thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, here on talkinfight.com. Thanks again.